1971 to 1974. Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler.
Game 457, Brewers at White Sox. Welcome back, baseball fans. 71-74 Carryover League. We move to the American League today with a series in the American League Midwest between the Brewers and the White Sox. At the top of this division, let's take a look at the calculus for this setup here. The White Sox are indeed begin this series 2 games ahead of the Brewers with 7 to play, hypothetically. They also are a +2 head-to-head. They beat the Brewers 4-2 earlier in the year, so they have everything in their corner here. With 7 left, that means the Brewers have to win 5 of 7. 4-3 doesn't work. It doesn't get you close enough. It gets you within a game, but only time you need a tiebreaker is if you're tied or a half game, and that doesn't get you close enough. Plus, the White Sox will still have the tiebreaker. A 5-2 gives Milwaukee what they want. It gives them a 1-game lead, and it also gives them the tiebreaker. So it's got to be a 5-2 for the Brewers in a series that opened up at home for Milwaukee. And Milwaukee played pretty well recently to get to 500 by sweeping a bad Ohio team in a previous series, and then beating up on the Twins. Game 1. It is Wilbur Wood back up after the All-Star break. You get back to the top here. And it's Wilbur Wood and Jim Colburn, the top pitchers for each staff. And in this one, it is a pitcher's duel until we get to the 5th inning, when the White Sox string together 4 singles and a couple runs. Meanwhile, Wilbur Wood walked the leadoff batter, got a double play, and threw 5, no hits. In the 6th inning, a walk, Carlos May stolen base. You know, it's funny, but Carlos May batting ahead of Dick Allen, he's very hesitant to steal because Dick Allen draws so many walks. Why steal a base when you could walk to second base, right? But he did there, and he scores on a sac fly by George Orta, 3-zip. Meanwhile, Orta continues a no-hit bid through 7. Top of the 8th, a couple more singles, and it is a Bill Melton 2 RBI triple. It is now 5-zip. The righty's on the wall. Now we just are pondering the no-hitter. But in the bottom of the 8th, the leadoff hitter, Jose Cardinal, he hits Wilbur Wood's card, rolls a 4-5 triple chance single, gets the base hit. Smattering of applause from the Milwaukee team to their opponent. And then 6 more outs for Wilbur Wood. 2 batters over the minimum. Snubbed for the All-Star game. Comes back. Goes to Milwaukee. Wins 5-0. Making a statement. Oh, and the White Sox continue their winning ways. Have they finally turned that corner, and are they this dominant top-shelf team in the American League? I would say their year-long problems are going to be a combustible bullpen and weak-armed catchers and occasionally spotty defense. But other than that, they got great starting pitching and a tremendous offense. So, yeah, they're on the top shelf for now. 5-0 win for the White Sox in Game 1. What happens in Game 2 in Milwaukee? Can this team that's playing over their heads rally? Game 2. Tom Bradley for the Chi Sox against Sam McDowell. Walk, strikeout, home run. That's the reality when Sam McDowell takes the mound. And if you're the White Sox, hey, you'll take a walk on the wild side. 4th inning, after an out, yep, Allen, Melton, Muser all draw walks. Bradford RBI single. The Tom Egan base-loaded walk. We have a Ken Henderson walk. But Tom Bradley gets knocked around a little bit in the 5th inning. A walk, an error by Bucky Dent, the defensive second baseman. A couple singles, a sac fly. And the Brewers actually have a 4-3 lead. Dominant Man comes in, and he is a wild thing out of the bullpen. A walk, error, single, walk, single, another bases loaded walk. All told, the Chicago White Sox took 13 walks in this contest. White Sox, 7 runs on 8 hits, 13 walks. They put 21 men on base. They win this game 7-4, and Bradley, instead of taking a chance with a combustible bullpen, they're going to push Bradley like they're going to push Wood. He's a starter 7, but unless you hit your point of weakness, you can keep going. And Bradley only gave up 4 hits in this game. There was an error that extended that inning. And so Bradley retired the last 13 men he faced in this one. All the way through there. So, White Sox get the 2 road wins, and all they have to do is win 1 more game to really put themselves now in consideration for best record in the American League. They're finally entered this conversation after a dismal start. They've probably been the hottest team in the American League after starting 3-6. And are starting to dust teams here. But boy, I would always be nervous about this bullpen anyway. We come to Chicago, and for a game 3, the Brewers are going to send Mike Torres out there instead of Jim Slayton. Mike Torres is having a better year. 16-12, 3.33 ERA, and 243 innings for the Expos in 72. Brewers snared him. And the White Sox are going to send Stan Bonson out there. A 21-game winner in 72, yet a starter 6. Very strange to get that many decisions and only have a point of weakness in the 6th inning. Particularly when his teammate, Wilbur Woods, is starter 9. So they have the same offense and defense supporting them, but it's very different, the disparity in innings pitched for Torres and Bonson. From Chicago, let's get started. Leading off, Jose Cardinal. 57 is single 1-10. He gets it, a single. Batting second, Gary Jested. 2-9, single ... Runners on the corners for Steve Hovley. Playing back. 33 is a fielder's choice, third to second. Will score a run. 1-0 Brewers. Runner at first, 1 out. For George Scott. 2-5 is a 6-4-3 double play. And that's Bonson. Gets out of an inning with minimal damage, just the 1 run. Bottom of 1 from Chicago. It'll be Walt Williams leading off. 4-4, short X. Shortstop is Fregosi today, a 3E38. That's going to be a base hit. C. Steeler Williams, you got a 0-arm Darrell Porter in there for the Brewers. Ken Henderson, 5'11", right X. Oh boy, he's out in right field. That's Ben Ogilvy, a 4E5 in right field. And that is your double ... as Ogilvy misplays that ball terribly. Williams scores. We're tied at 1. Carlos May. 3-11 is a ground ball to short. The runner has to hold. He didn't get the run to the third base. Dick Allen, 68, is a walk. First and second, 1 out for George Orta. 37 is a K. And with 2 outs, it's Bill Melton. 1-7 is also a K. And the White Sox do their left on base thing again. It's 1-1. Top of 2. Jerry McNertney, 3-10, bounce to short. Darrell Porter, 47. Single 1-3 off of Bonson, can't get it. Ron Theobald, 47, is a strikeout. Bottom of 2. Talking, Tony Muserman in the lineup more often, as has Walt Williams, as has the White Sox have been rotating their bench in it, and it's helping them. Getting all 12 guys involved instead of having guys rotting on the bench. That's a good move. Tony Muser grounds the third. Bob Stinson, 1-6 is a walk. Aparicio, 46 is a walk. 2 on, 1 out. Back up top to Walt Williams. 55, second C. Runners in scoring position, second and third for Ken Henderson. 2-10 is a fly to right. They leave him there. Now they still haven't fixed the left on base situation. Timely hitting will do that. We go to the third. Jim Fregosi, 2/8's a K. Ben Ogleby, 38 is double 1 to 10, base hit. Jose Cardinal, 64 is a pop to first and with 2 outs. It's Gary Gestat, 58, pops to third. 1-1, bottom of the third inning. It's Carlos May, 3-6, homer, 1 to 12, double. It is gone. Carlos May hits his card column. He was an all-star. He's, could be the most valuable Chai Sock versus Dick Allen. Or even Bill Melton. Melton's batting averages are down a lot, but he's got a lot of homer and RBI. You kind of like to see that, actually. You don't really want to have one guy playing out of his mind. You want to have a community effort here to be a real successful baseball team. Dick Allen, 6'10", catcher's card. No qualms with the White Sox offense, even with all the runners left on base. It's really, can the bullpen start to play up to their level they should be playing at. 39 for Orta, single 1 to 14, and he lines out. And Bill Melton, 38, single 1 to 11, he gets it. 2 men on every inning. Tony Muser, 46, is a walk. 2 on. They're almost breaking this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 10 hits or 8 hits and 4 walks through 3 is my point of weakness guide for early exits. Bob Stinson, 3-6. Let's take a look at this pleasant surprise pickup in the draft. Hardly anybody saw this one coming. Bob Stinson. Who? Well, Stinson had a nice little career as a switch-hitting catcher for the Expos and for the Mariners later on. And in 73, he has this card, which is a fascinating card. Plenty of power, plenty of walks. As a switch hitter with power both ways, what's there not to love? He has been welcomed here in Chicago, where they had Mike Ryan last year, a 180 hitting catcher. Now they got plenty of pop with Stinson and Tom Egan. 3-6 is triple 1 to 6, single ... That'll be an RBI. And suddenly it's 3-1. Runners on the corners for Louis Aparicio. 3-11 bounces to short. But the White Sox have a 3-1 lead for Stan Bonson. Into the fourth we go. Steve Hubley, 68, double 1 to 9, base hit. And it's George Scott. 2-11, another 5-4-3 double play for George Scott. Not having a good series at all when the Brewers need him the most. That's going to make it awfully difficult for the Brewers if Scott cannot get hot. Jerry McNertney, the lone all-star of the Brewers. 45, bounces to second base. Bottom of 4, back up top to Walt Williams. 37, bounce to short. Ken Henderson, 1-5. Let's take a look at the Ken Henderson card of 74, 20 bombs, 66 walks, 292 average, 35 doubles. Your standard 5-tool guy, if he could do this every year, he'd be a perennial all-star Hall of Fame candidate. He just could not seem to do it year in and year out for a long career, but the tools were certainly there. Boy, this guy could do everything when he put his mind to it. He could steal bases, great arm, great range. This is probably his best year in Chicago, and 1-5 is indeed gone, and it's 4-1. It's 4-1. It seems like it's 10-1 the way the Brewers have been playing, though. Carlos May, 2-9 is a single. Dick Allen, 48 off Torres is a single to center. May, thinking about going coast to coast against Hovley. He's going to do it with 1 out. And he's thrown out on a 20. Trying to get to third with 1 out, and a runner gets thrown out at third base. Got to tip your hat to the Brewers in that case. Not a lot you can do there. And Dick Allen, you know what? He's going to try and get to second base with 2 outs with a stolen base attempt. And he does. He steals and rolls an 8, so he's in there. So we do get Allen to second with 2 outs. And it's batting out of Orta with a 4-1 lead. 64 off Torres, pops to short. Well, the White Sox, here we go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hits or walks. Only 4 runs to show for it, and it's a 4-1 game. Into the 5th. Darrell Porter. 39 is a walk. Ron Theobald. 1-9 fielder's choice. Theobald's at first now for Fregosi. 57, single 1 to 10. He misses it on a 17. Gave up the single to start the game, but that time they split the 50-50 chance. And with 2 outs, it's Ogilvy. 2-5, flies to right. Now, Brewers just short of talent, you know. Let's go to the bottom 5th. Pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Bottom of the 5th in Comiskey Park. A 4-1 White Sox lead. Can they finish off a 3-game sweep, which would put the White Sox in rarefied air with a 7 or 8 game winning streak? I wouldn't even know how long it is. But that would put them suddenly near the very, very top of the American League. Bill Melton leads it off. 65 off Torres, pops to first. Though, we have to admit, the White Sox are playing bottom feeders. Brewers, Royals, even Twins to a certain regard. It's not like they're the Cardinals, who are in first place, playing Reds, Pirates, and etc. Tony Muser, 68. Single 1 to 9, lines out. And with 2 outs. Here's Stinson, 5'10", center X. Hubley's a 3-7 in center field. It's going to be a single. Aparicio, 63, pitcher B. Well, Torres has survived somehow, 5 innings. The rope-a-dope. They had chances to knock this guy out. They couldn't do it. We go to the 6th inning, and this is Bonson's point of weakness inning. Like Stan to get 6, 7, or 8, so we don't have to go deep into the Chi Sox bullpen in this sweep attempt. Jose Cardenal, 34, grounds the third. Gary Jestat, 39, flies to left, and with 2 outs, it is Hubley. 69, homer 1 to 4 double. It's a 2-base hit. And George Scott, 49 for Scott is a walk. It's not what you wanted to do. And suddenly the tie run is all-star Jerry McNerney. 3-11 is a fly ball right. And that ends the 6th inning. More importantly, Bonson stays in, avoiding the point of weakness with just 2 base runners. Bottom of the 6th. Walt Williams, 62. These guys are right. Henderson, 65. Pops to third. And with 2 outs, it is Carlos May, 55. Grounds to second. Mike Torres, resilient here. After struggling mightily in this one, it's just a 4-1 game as we go to the 7th. And the White Sox being proactive there. They're going to go with some defense here. They're going to put a 2 in the outfield at least. That is Bradford goes in for Walt Williams. So the right fielder is a 4, and now he's a 2. We'll let Ortis bat one more time before Dent comes in for him. Into the 7th we go. Can Bonson get through the 7th inning? He has not gone long this year, and here we are, into the 7th. 4-1 lead, Darrell Porter. Bottom of the lineup. 54 is third X. This is Melton. A 3-17. It's a ground ball B. 1 out. Ron Theobald. 6-11. Short X. This is Aparicio. A 2. And he makes the play. Good White Sox infield defense here when Bonson needs it. Jim Fregosi. 48. Flies to left field. Stan Bonson, one of his better games of the year. An RBI single in the run-scoring single in the first, and then zeros after that. Stretch time here in Chicago. We are enjoying Baby Huey, the Baby Huey story. Curtis Mayfield's band from Superfly, the Curtis Records band, backing him up, doing Mighty Mighty, Hard Times, and You've Got Me Running, which was an impression song. Great double LP with all these instrumental demo recordings tacked on. The Baby Huey died too young, certainly. Great voice, died too young. Bottom of the 7th, back to the game. 4-1 White Sox. Trying to tack on some more. Torres is a starter 8. I don't know what he's got left to prove here. He got through 6, and he should be happy. They're going to go to the pen here. I got a lefty, Orta and Muser coming up this inning. They're going to go to the lefty, Don Shaw. Don Shaw, 71. He was a Cardinal, 7-2 with a 2.65 ERA in 51 innings. He gives up the Bush for the Miller here in Milwaukee. Don Shaw in the 7th will face Dick Allen leading off. 112, Allen flies left. George Orta, he'll swing away. 211, pops the second, and he'll leave the game. Dent comes in defensively, and it's Bill Melton. 37, Melton singles. And with 2 outs, Tony Muser. 45, Sky's a center. Shaw does that fine. We go to the 8th. Bonson, 6 outs to get with a 3-run lead. All of its defense is in there, and plenty of options for the bullpen. It'll be Ben Ogilvy leading it off. 56 Ks. I'm still more inclined to let these White Sox starters hit their point of weakness before I venture into this combustible pen. Jose Cardinal. 2-8. Grounds to short. And with 2 outs. Gary Jestat. 38. Single on 18's base hit. Steve Hovley. He is 2 for 3 today. 2-3. Pops to short. Stan Bonson. He's only put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 men on base in 8 innings. That's a fantastic performance. Bottom of the 8th. With the end of this series possibly coming up right here and now, Ken Sanders, the Brewer closer, who had been their all-star until recently when they sent McNerney to the all-star game as the lone representative. Sanders comes in to keep this a 3-run game. So he'll face Bob Stinson. 5'10 catcher's card. Porter's a 3.9. Makes the play. Aparicio, 110 is a single. 1-out single for Louis. Back up top, it's Buddy Bradford. 2-3 is a 6-4-3 double play. Well, that didn't work. We'll go to the 9th, and look who's out there, folks. Stan Bonson, he's still out there in the 9th inning. As the Chi Sox will probably just play matchup batters to get 3 outs with Bonson, Lemons, Johnson, Aker, and Bart Johnson all available. In the 9th, it is George Scott, 0 for 2 plus a walk, leading off. 1-5. Let's take a look at George Scott's card. Not a lot you can do. His time has come after a slump. 306 average and 73 with 24 home runs. Probably his last great year with Milwaukee before he goes to Boston. Or actually, he was with Boston, and he goes to Milwaukee, and he goes back. I can't remember how that path works. But 1-5 is gone. We got a 4-2 game. Yeah, I know what you're thinking here. I'm sticking with Bonson, though. It's 4-2, and he's not even facing the tie run yet. So it'll be Jerry McNerney. 2-6 is a pop to short. Now you got Darryl Porter. I might want to get this guy out of here, though. We'll take the hook now. 8 1/3. Yeah, we'll get the hook in here now. We're getting Terry Forster involved. It's time to slam the door on a team for once, Terry. Well, let's get Porter out of here and get to this bench, because the bench isn't much at all. Porter's probably the most on bases that's available. Plus, after him, you got Theobald, Fregosi, Ogilvy. So there's nothing really good here. The best guy available will be Ken McMullen. So Ken McMullen will be the pinch hitter. First, Terry Forster in the 9th. 6-5, 2.25 ERA in 100 innings. This year he has an ERA of around 6, and it's time for him to start collecting saves and slamming doors and so forth. So he will come on in with a 4-2 lead, and he'll face Ken McMullen. McMullen in 72 was an Angel. He had 269 with 9 home runs, known more for his defense. And with this card, he hits lefties better than righties, so it's a good matchup here. Ken McMullen, Terry Forster, and here's the pitch. 69, grounds to second. And with 2 outs, trying to end this series right here and now in 3 straight games, which would be a huge boost to the White Sox overall, chances to win the whole thing this year. It's Ron Theobald. Can he seal the deal? The pitch to Ron Theobald. 1-8 is a grounder to short, and Forster, that's a big move there for confidence. Forster punches out his two guys to get a save and a 3-game sweep for the red hot White Sox. They are now the hottest team in the league. As we've seen the Expos stumble a little bit, we saw Baltimore stumble a little bit. Now you got the White Sox in prime territory to play for a bye in the American League. That's how far they have come. Very impressive. Even with some struggles in various spots, we've seen every team has had struggles in various spots. And we have said all along that the talent does exist in the White Sox bullpen. They just need to play to it. Get out of the funky slump. Forster punches the two guys out to get a save, but Bonson's the star of the day. 8 1/3, 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Sanders gave up a hit. Don Shaw gave up a hit. Mike Torres somehow survived 6 rocky innings, giving up 9 hits and 4 runs. It was all earned. Walked 4, struck out 2. 1019, 0108, 411, 27, 23, 42, 42, 23. Now we have to do the composite box here. And we also have to check the possibility have the Brewers play themselves into 3rd or 4th place, because that's also a key in the tournament. Just because you start the tournament in 2nd place doesn't mean you can't fall all the way into last place and be eliminated, particularly in a lot of these closer divisions. Fortunately, the bottom of this division is so bad, I think they're safe. Well, the White Sox got their 20th win. That's very impressive. From where they started this year, that is very impressive. After dropping their first 2 series, and now they're 20-12. That's outstanding. They are hitting .271. That's pretty good. They got a .351 ERA. That's also pretty good. Wood and Tom Bradley 6-1. How's Stan Bonson doing overall for the year? 24 runs in 50 innings is okay, but nothing more than that. That's fine. And Forster, has he really gotten better? He's given up 8 runs in 12 innings. Yeah. No, that's still not good enough. That's still in the area of 6. Yeah, even after getting those 2 guys out. But he does have 5 saves. Aker has 3 saves. Bart Johnson's got 2. They just have to play matchup batters and hope Bonson and Lou Krause can pitch into the 7th inning whenever possible. Offensively, the home runs aren't huge this year. Melton's got 7, which is nice. Meanwhile, guys like Hank Aaron have 17. But Melton's got 7. And Dick Allen just has 4 homers, but he's got the high batting average. He is 41 for 118. Where's Carlos May? Carlos is 40 for 110. So Carlos is actually hitting better. Let's do Carlos. Carlos is hitting .364 to lead the club. And with a speed that he possesses as an ace stealer, he could be your most valuable Chi Sock. For the Brewers, they've played themselves down to a 14-16 record. Hitting .253 with a .389 ERA. Their lone all-star was Jerry McNerney, who's still hitting just a slightly below 300. So that's a good little story, the Jerry McNerney story. George Scott, like I said, he was struggling in this series. He does have 5 homers, 16 RBI. He's 35 for 125 on the year. 280. He's hitting 280, but he's a 306 hitter. And when we look at the overall standings now, there are the White Sox. They will finish this round in first place, playing 625 baseball. And now we've got to go up top and see the Expos are still 720 ball. Baltimore 654 ball. But they still have more baseball to play. The American League is 15 over 500. That's why you're seeing some of these high winning percentage. as they've been beaten up on the National League this year. There's a second and third round of the tournament. There's still a little bit more time. The White Sox will have to play the top team in the West in the second round of the tournament, which would be Oakland, for seeding purposes. I think it's going to be Oakland. Should be Oakland for seeding purposes. And of course, these two divisions will be playing each other in the second round of the tournament, beating each other up as well. So there's a possibility that the White Sox can improve on this number 3 seed because they are playing good baseball. That's it today. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.